What's going on, Will Freeman, RevolutionaryLifestyleDesign.com, talking to you about why the Myers-Briggs test is bullshit. If you're a quote introvert, you're probably triggered right now. Not my intention. My intention is to get you a win. And the reason I say that test is bullshit is the only people who care about that test are introverts, INTJ. Extroverts don't even know that test exists because they are not focused on trying to justify why they don't like to be around people or are uncomfortable people around or shy around people or need to recharge from being around people. But here's the reality, okay? And this is not a value judgment whatsoever. The world rewards people who are extroverted, okay? And I'm using those words because those are the words that people use as their reference points. At the end of the day, as you guys know, I don't believe in any type of identity-based politics, and that's what the introversion extroversion is. Yes, you can use that word as like a predictor of someone's past behavior, but you have no idea how malleable your personality is because personality comes from the word persona, which is the Greek words for actor's mask. Okay, every one of you started off as a baby. And this is not like I'm telling you, you could become an NBA player. That's genetics. Um, Personality derived by genetics, perhaps to a degree, well, naturally to a degree, but everybody started as a baby and everybody learned social skills. And along the way, a lot of people learned fear. And if you put your head up too many times, you get slapped down. And socializing becomes a challenge because you don't have a payoff. All right. If you were in a house full of Playboy playmates, you'd be pretty extroverted once you got comfortable. So there's a couple of things going on when you're describing yourself as an introvert. There's fear and there's also lack of payoff. Like some high IQ introverts might be bored sitting around talking to normal people because there's no payoff. So those are the two things that are in your way of becoming sociable. It's fear, social fear, and social anxiety, which everyone has to a degree, and it's payoff. Okay, so you might be totally bored in a regular group setting with your work safe colleagues, but you are willing to socialize to go meet girls because there is a payoff there. But here's the reality, okay? You are constantly varying back and forth between introversion and extroversion. If I've been sitting on the couch all day doing work, doing computer work, building this mega course that I'm building or writing an article, I'm, completely within myself. When I go to the 7-Eleven to the checkout girl, I don't want to even have a conversation. I just want to get it done. As opposed to if I'm hanging out with my friends all day and maybe we're having a few drinks and we've got the girls over and we're having a great time. Now my extroversion is 100%. I'm saying hi to everybody. I'm the mayor of the city. And I can move back and forth based on those things depending on my state. Okay, that's what it all comes down to. State being your mental thoughts, physical feeling, physical sensations, and the emotions that you have. So you will be extroverted based on your state versus introverted based on your state. Some people are in a consistently low state. Some people are anhedonic. I had this conversation with my friend. He wasn't depressed, but he's anhedonic. And you tell me he's happy, but it wasn't like an expression of happiness, smiling, laughing, joking around. You know, the inability to feel lots of pleasure is anhedonic, and that applies to a lot of guys who consider themselves introverts. Like if you think, when was the last time you felt bliss or you felt joy or you felt like real massive connections? A lot of guys don't have that moment. They don't know that setting exists because they haven't had that for 20 years because they've been restraining their persona out of either anxiety or lack of payoff. Okay, this is not a value judgment on anyone, but understand that the world does reward extroversion. Okay, sales is what got me here. Sales is what will continue to get me where I want to go, as well as all the good payoffs in life from are almost always around human connection. Good friends, carezza sex with women, motorcycle rides with your friends, all these good things. Of course, you can have plenty of introverted payoffs, but what I'm trying to get you to realize is that the way that you're acting is 100% dependent on your state. Okay, I could take an introverted guy, give him some MDMA, and all of a sudden he's going to be the most extroverted person in the world because his state is a 10 out of 10. Okay, so a lot of introverted guys or quote guys who consider themselves quote introverted do not access those higher levels of state consistently to the point where maybe they haven't accessed those since they were 7 to realize that those actually exist. Um, and that introversion limits you. Okay. Now those same guys could be a lot more sensitive than some type of brute force extrovert, a lot more empathic, or they could be more technically minded, or um, you know, more within themselves. And that's fine, but I'm saying don't limit yourself by some non-objective personality test, okay, by some arbitrary idea. It's just, it's another identity politics. It's like vegan or bodybuilder. I'm an introvert or I'm an extrovert. Here's the reality, okay? You're the Holy Spirit, temporarily incarnated into this physical vehicle. Your persona is your actor's mask. This body, this image is your character to play the game of life, and you can do whatever the fuck you want it with it. Okay, so don't handicap yourself by saying, I'm an introvert, or even I'm an extrovert. Adapt to the situation, play the best card at whatever time to get the things that you want and to get maximum happiness. Um, and experiment with getting more social payoffs. Experiment with pushing yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit to see that, like, you know what, the vast majority of time you're not going to get humiliated, um, and you can actually learn to get off on social payoffs instead of feeling like social situations are draining. But the key is, to be able to do that is changing your state and recognize that, like, our entire lives as this Holy Spirit incarnated in this body is nothing but continuous state changes. Okay. And that's what everything's for, is getting you into that good state. So I'm not saying don't spend time reading. Okay. I like to do both. I like to be able to read for 2 or 3 hours, and I like to be able to do focused work. But then I also like to go hang out with my friends. I like to do client calls. I like to hang out with women. I like to do coaching calls with my clients. So I like doing extroverted and introverted stuff based on my mood, based on how many tasks I have to do that day. But I'm adaptable to the situation. If my energy's low, but I promise I was going to go out, then I'll do some state boosting exercises so that I'm getting the maximum state in all areas. But I'm not limited to some type of persona or personality that's fluid for me. I'm not boxed into any of that because I know it's the actor's mask. I know that all this world is created for me to experience, to enjoy, and to play with. And that's why I tell you guys to talk about playing the game of life as the best frame, as the best meta model to move through this world that we're in. And that's basically what my core concepts on my site, revolutionarylifestyledesign.com, are all about. How to play that game of life, kind of like a bridge between the material and the spiritual. Okay, if you want to go live in a monastery and fully try and realize the self, I tip my hat to you. I don't have the discipline to do it, but in the middle there, as opposed to like pure materialism, which results in, communism. That's the objective materialism, is communism as a result, or celebrity worship and these nasty things. There's sort of like a middle ground that we can live in. I call it playing the game of life for maximum happiness, which is state, to be in consistently high state as possible. And that end game, a lot of that, is removing these limiting beliefs of I'm shy or I'm introverted or all these other things, instead of just like, I am the spirit incarnated in this body, and I've got, this tons of potential and opportunities and things that I can do when I don't limit myself. Okay, so not a value judgment. If you find the test useful, that's fine. I mean, you can use it in sort of ways to predict other people's behavior, but recognize what it is. Recognize it's not an objective reality. Recognize it. Your state is malleable. Your persona is malleable. You can create and become what you would be shocked at what you can create within your life and what you can become. If you want help with that, holler at your boy, revolutionarylifestyledesign.com/coaching, and we can work together on leveling you up as high as you can go. Or you can check out my products, revolutionarylifestyledesign.com/products. Get those game-changing products, level up your persona, your state, start to learn how to play the game of life, have more fun, have more enjoyment, have more experiences, all that good stuff. Much love to you. Wish you all the best in your personal development journey.